Mohamed Ihattaren is definitely a wonder kid that you should 100% avoid signing. You see, he sits in the potential range of 160 and he is well known outside of stuff but having some troubles, which we're not going to go into, but in the game itself, he is very well known because of a wonder kid for the last few years. His current ability is 128 at the start of the game, out of 200 of course, which means he has some development to grow if he was to get to the 160 max. Of course, that could be as low as 130. He might not grow at all. However, what sets this guy out to be a player to avoid is his professionalism. Professionalism plays a big part in a player's development, especially in a wonder kid, to help them reach their max potential. It's one of the most important things along with another stuff. Obviously, professionalism highlights poor training. If they've got low professionalism, poor training, they react badly to criticism for bad performances, for etc. And things like determination and work rate also play a big part, which determination of 6 and work rate of 9. Couple those things with his 6 professionalism and his 6 natural fitness, I just don't see why you'd ever want to sign this player, especially when he's roughly worth about 6 to 8 million pounds. There are so many better options. Please do not get this guy. He also has low consistency, a 7 too, so he's not even consistent. In fact, he's inconsistently bad, which, is that bad or is that good? I think it's bad. Gonzalo Plata is another wonder kid that you are also going to want to avoid. He is almost 21. When you get to November, he will be 21, and he has the current ability of 126, which is not exactly Premier League level, and in the 160 bracket, which means he could be as low as 130 anyway, meaning he might not have any growth. He also has professionalism of 5. Determination, as well as you can see, is 9, and his consistency is 8. I just think, again, there's going to be so many better options. A younger player would be better, who you can develop and grow into a much better player than Gonzalo Plata. Save your money, folks. Brian Rodriguez. Now, a couple of people have mentioned Brian Rodriguez to me a few times, especially during my live streams, twitch.tv/Megaloot Gaming. We're currently with PSV as quite a talented looking youngster. However, similar story to Plata, he is already 21 years of age and he has a current ability of 126. And he sits in the 130 to 160 bracket yet again. But his professionalism is down at 7. Couple that with determination of 12, natural fitness of 10. Oh, it's just things that I'd just rather avoid. Now, not only does this guy have a damaged Achilles tendon, 6 to 7 months at the start of the game, he's 20 years of age, Nathan Ferguson from Crystal Palace. There's a lot more reasons why you should be avoiding this guy. 20 years of age, and he has a random professionalism because it's set to 0, which means it could be anything, alongside a random consistency, a random determination, and important matches. If one of those are bad, he's probably good to just avoid, if I'm honest. But of course, the big red flag for me is his injury proneness. He obviously has that huge injury to begin with. His injury proneness is 14, meaning that might not be the only injury you encounter whilst managing Nathan Ferguson. So if you are doing a Crystal Palace save, once he comes back from his injury, I'd suggest trying to ship him out. And he is 21 years of age soon, and he only has the current ability of 118 in the 130 to 160 potential range. So definitely avoid. Now, also a naughty boy is Omer Baez. He has a global ban. God knows what he did. Let me know down in the comments if you do know. Till only the 29th of August, so that's not too bad. But still, this guy is definitely a man to avoid. Just looking at him, to be fair, I'd say, yeah, avoid. 17 years of age. It's annoying because he was fantastic last year. He sits in the 160 potential range, but let me tell you more about him. So he has the random professionalism attribute of 0, so it could be anything, which obviously means it could be quite low, to be fair. He has a current ability of only 95 out of 200. He's 17, about to turn 18. That's not very good. Some of his mental attributes that are hard-coded into the game: he only has 8 work rate, 7 important matches, 10 consistency, natural fitness of 9, which we can see here, stamina of 7. That's actually hard-coded into the game. Every single time you load that in, that's what it will be. Injury proneness of 10, so it's halfway. I just think no, just go for somebody else. There's so many really good centre attacking midfielders that you can get. Burak Yilmaz, for instance, who is exactly the same nationality, better in all categories of this, younger and cheaper. Go for Burak Yilmaz. All you have to do is just load the Turkish second division. Okay, we've got a couple of Mexicans coming your way. No Santiago Munoz from goal here. Unfortunately, it's Jesus Hernandez, a 17-year-old, and by all accounts, he doesn't look too great at the start. He is, however, in the 160 potential range, so there may be a random occasion where you've gone into the future and you've seen this guy be decent. However, I would still definitely avoid. So he starts off with the current ability of 88, although he does have the professionalism of 12, meaning that, of course, you might actually get a good version of Jesus Hernandez. It's a decent determination as well, 15. So that's the reason why I'm saying if you do go in the future and you see this guy be quite decent, then you think, oh, mental note, I'm going to get that player when I start a new save. Then you start a new save, and these are where the problems start to unfold. So despite having the ability to grow, things like 10 for work rate and consistency are not exactly fantastic. You can see the work rate, you can't see the consistency. That's not exactly the best. Important matches of 9 as well. So he's fairly inconsistent. He's not the best in important matches, but that natural fitness and that stamina, that's hard-coded. That's 8 and 9 every single time you load the game. And I know he only plays as a striker, but still, if you're trying to use a gegenpress, which still seems to be the most popular tactic, you need something better than an 8 or 9, or else you're going to have to be substituting every single game. Again, I just think there's just too much risks with this player, and that's the reason why he makes this list. There are so many more better options. If I haven't mentioned a guy on this list, he's probably a better option. Now, his Mexican friend that plays for Pachuca under 20s is Eduardo Mustre. Again, he doesn't look fantastic, and again, there are some reasons why you should be avoiding this player. He also has a low current ability, even lower than the previous guy of 84, despite being on his way to 19 years of age in about 5 to 6 months' time. He has 10 for professionalism and consistency, meaning it's very average, very bog standard out of 20. It's not fantastic, if I'm honest. 9 for work rate and for important matches. Again, not very consistent, doesn't put a lot of work in, not very good in those important matches. And much like his Mexican counterpart, these are hard-coded, meaning the natural fitness and stamina is both 10, and I just think Mexican players are very hard to get out of Mexico. They seem to be a lot more expensive than some other options of different countries. You're probably going to spend a little bit more money on these guys than you would anywhere else, and I'd look at this guy and just think avoid anyway, if I'm honest. Probably the player that's going to shock you the most on this game, but somebody who I've never enjoyed using anyway, is Joshua Zirkzee. Now, he is on loan at Anderlecht at the start of the season from Bayern Munich. There are some definite red flags with this player though. Now, he has the current ability of 121, which isn't too bad for a wonder kid, but he's at 20 years of age. So if he does have a lower end of his potential, you're not really going to get much of a player out of him. He's not going to really change from what you're looking at the start of the game. He only has 10 for his professionalism as well. We know how important that is, and 8 for work rate. So he's going to be a very bad trainer. That 9 determination doesn't look too great in this one either, but he only has 7 for consistency. He has one of the lowest consistency ratings that I've seen in a wonder kid, hard-coded into their actual attributes, which obviously is hidden. You can't see that. I've gone and done the homework. I would definitely avoid this guy. To me, the fact that you're probably going to have to pay quite a lot of money for this player means that this is definitely some red flags that you should 100% avoid getting Joshua Zirkzee. There are so many better options than this man. I know he's a very good towering forward who's good at heading, jump and reach, decent strength and stuff. No. Lorenzo Luca, Benjamin Sesko, just those two guys alone you could probably get for cheaper, and they are 100 times better. I think they have a high potential as well. Rodrigo Varanda is the last man on this list. Now, 7 professionalism to begin with. He's 18 years of age, so professionalism means he's not necessarily going to grow into the best of players. 6 determination as well, that's really low. And 7 consistency. In behind the scenes, 7 consistency. But he's 102 current ability, and he's 18, almost 19. So, I mean, there's just not a lot of time for him to grow. I know players can develop, and if you're looking to develop them later on in their career, they've still got a long way to go. But when they're that low current ability, but with that low determination and professionalism, it's just really unlikely that they're going to grow. Although this guy doesn't look too bad starting off with. He looks better than the 2 Mexicans, if I'm honest. But his injury proneness also, it's random. So you could get a bad one. Coupling that with consistency, determination, and the 7 professionalism, I just don't see him ever really having a good time where he would look a fantastic player, and he probably won't perform as well as other players. So there we go, that's the list. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out this video next. It's a rebuild, it's Dortmund, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favourite ones, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.